All right, Anthony on Air podcast. The world is ending either this week or next week. Is Tupac Shakur alive? If he is, he probably should get back sooner than later. And the Blink 182 5-song challenge, we'll bring that to a conclusion. Our panel is here, Frankie C. and J Sabs. How are you guys doing?
Oh,
doesn't matter. I don't care.
Doing great.
Let's move right on to the first topic, and that is Tupac Shakur. J Sabs, do you think Tupac
alive?
You think he's still alive?
There is no doubt in my mind that he's
No
still
doubt.
alive. Absolutely no doubt.
Now, do you have evidence of this, or is this just a feeling that you have?
It's just a feeling.
Well,
But he's
wasn't there a
alive.
photo
Yes,
like
I
it
remember
came out a
this.
year or two ago?
There's been a lot of photos. There's like a lot of people that look exactly like him, or it is him and he is still alive. Yeah.
Because there are photos of like celebrities taking photos with him somewhere,
He's
wherever
alive.
he is.
No, I don't think it was celebrities, but people. I've seen even videos of him like walking by, and people are like, "That's there goes Tupac right there." And
Could be someone who looks like him. Who
could be
knows?
somebody who looks like him.
Even
It's
the guy
Elvis
who
all
played
over
him
again.
in that movie.
He looked like him.
Holy, yeah.
Oh, the guy who played him in the movie. Yeah, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
This
What
is
movie
Elvis
was
all
that?
over again, though.
Was that the Big E movie? You talking about that?
No, I think it was Tupac's movie, right? Didn't he have his own?
Tupac had a movie
think he-
too.
I think
I
he
believe
did.
so. Yeah,
More recent, I think. I'm
was.
not sure about that.
I want to say within like the last 3 years or so.
Really?
Sounds right.
I loved Biggie's movie. I'm such a Biggie guy.
Me too.
Yeah. I like Tupac, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't own an album. But Biggie, I got all of them. There wasn't a lot of them, but I got them.
Yep.
Big
Me
was
and
great.
Gaetano used to listen to Biggie in my room. Sorry, Mom.
Door closed.
It was.
But you think he's alive for sure? You think Tupac is alive?
I do.
All right.
He just
I
wanted
do.
out of the celebrity game.
I
Is that his reason
feel
for disappearing?
like he's this meta type thinking person, super duper creative that I wouldn't put it like him, Andy Kaufman, like there are certain artists that are just like so like meta and like bigger than life thinking that I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Hey, it wouldn't be difficult. You just, you have to. I guess you know what though, a bunch of people would have to be in on it. No,
I don't
Just like
the people at the
Corona.
scene, okay. Whatever that means,
the people at the scene of the crime. Yeah, I guess so.
right? Maybe his family, maybe not,
I mean, yeah. That's
but definitely the people at the scene. That's a lot of people.
Well,
he
there's-
was killed. How again? Driving
Shot.
in a car.
yeah.
With
Somebody pulled up
Oh.
next to him and shot him, right?
I think he was with Suge Knight, right? Wasn't he in the car with Suge Knight? All right, let's take a look at it.
I'm not
Today would have
100%
been his 49th birthday.
Wow.
There have been plenty of sightings over the years.
Definitely.
Let's see here. Tupac.
Frank's laughing at me.
No, I'm not.
Here's what this article says, and this is from the Mirror today. Tupac, many believe the star, who is considered one of the best rappers of all time, faked his own death. Perhaps the most baffling theory sees people claim Tupac hinted that he's still alive in his 2002 posthumous release track, Better Days. Expect me like you expect Jesus to come back, the song went. Before he died, he started calling himself Machiavelli, a reference to the Italian philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli. Machiavelli proposed that deceiving your enemies could be done by making everyone think that you are dead. Others have predicted that the release of his album, The Don Illuminati, the 7-day theory after his death, had its own clues. They believe Tupac will return on a date involving the number 7. July is on its way, by the way. Suge Knight insinuated that Tupac is alive. Suge Knight, former head of Death Row Records, was driving the car that got shot up when Tupac was murdered. He says Tupac was laughing on the way to the hospital after he was shot. So Suge also said that Tupac had spoken about faking his own death when they were on a holiday shortly before he died. Speaking on a Showtime documentary, American Dream, American Nightmare, he said he was in Maui You know what I mean? And Pac had like never been to Maui, and he got to talking about faking his own death. That's what Suge Knight said. And
See?
Pac was more down for doing like the last little video and shit of him dying, all the while, you know what I'm saying. I don't know. This is confusing.
Right.
Anyway, that's
Okay.
what
Well-
Suge says.
Yeah, I mean, no matter when Tupac dies or has died, because of all these things, it's going to be, did he really die?
Well-
Even if he lives to 90
Let's go with
and then dies,
let's
they're
go
going to
with-
go, well, maybe he's not.
right. Let's go with that's funny. Let's go with what you were just saying. And if there's a conspiracy theory, if he was shot and laughing on his way to the hospital, he gets into the hospital. How many people really does he need to go along with it? He didn't die before he got to the hospital, right? They got him to the hospital.
People in the ambulance.
No, I think
Right,
they
so that's-
drove him. I don't know.
There wasn't an ambulance?
I'm not sure now.
All right, well, whoever drove him to the hospital, was it Suge Knight who drove him?
I think it was.
So the car, after it got shot up, they drove in that car to the hospital. And he died at the hospital, or they're saying he died before he got there?
Well, he said he was laughing on his way to the hospital, so it doesn't really matter what vehicle he was in. Let's assume he was alive and laughing on his
Well,
way.
it does if there are EMTs in an ambulance that witnessed him.
My point is like, let's say he makes it to the hospital and he's alive.
Right.
How many people do you really need to buy in on the conspiracy theory from that point on?
A lot.
Yeah. I
Is it though?
There's
'Cause-
a team of people working on gunshot wounds. That's at least minimum like 5 people at least, right? I don't know.
Yeah, but okay.
You know, the doctor, the nurses. I'm sure there's anesthesiologists. Who the hell knows? All these people that have to operate. I don't know how many times he was shot.
I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I would normally be on your side here and be like, that's too many people, even if it's 5. We're already at too many people that you can't contain a thing like that. But
Maybe it could be.
to what Janine is alluding to,
People
money
are just listening.
money is a driving factor. And here, this is different from a 9/11 conspiracy or any other conspiracy.
Right.
This is one person. You're not harming anybody. If they wanted to disappear and he laid if Tupac laid if you're the nurse that night, Frank, Janine, and Tupac is recovering from his injuries and he lays $1 million on the table and he says, you can never tell anybody that I recovered from this. Would you take the money?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, I don't think I would
know,
even
man.
feel bad about it.
I don't know, because if that gets out, isn't that like a big? You lose your job, you lose
I got $1 million
probably lose
in the
everything.
bank. I ain't showing up for work the next day anyway. I got news for you.
Right.
You
Freak
can't
outta
live on
here.
the million for the rest of your life.
Watch me.
And back then,
Yeah, you're talking about $1 million 20 years ago. First of all,
was
you
it
throw
20 years ago?
Yeah, you
What is
throw that in the
Shit.
bank.
5 million now, 3 million now.
What's basic interest off $1 million in the? Well,
Right.
I don't think you can actually throw
Not
it
a
in the
clue.
bank. That's the problem.
Mm.
You can't just
Yeah,
say
I'm just gonna deposit $1 million.
drive
no
up
questions
ATM.
Nothing.
Here's $1 million. Can I put this in my account, please? No, but I'm saying like you could
Have that
live off
20s.
$1 million for the rest of your life. That's
I don't know.
you
Maybe.
can't not in like Manhattan. Like I'm
I
talking
don't think
about.
you could. No, because I mean, you have to keep earning. You can't just ride $1 million out for the next however many years. You got to
Yeah.
keep earning money.
But I mean, I'd be earning money running a beachside bar down in, the Caribbean somewhere.
That's
how
right.
Beef side.
beachside.
He meant taco.
Oh, beach side.
Yeah, I don't see any harm. Like, okay, obviously outside of the fact that millions of fans are devastated and probably his family, I think
Yeah.
I
Then
think
you
it's
got to
his
tell his family.
I think it's his right to fake his own death though.
But as
I
a
agree.
nurse or a doctor, I would have to go up to the Tupac's family and tell them he's dead.
Absolutely. For $1 million.
And then wait a minute. Wait, not only that, then there has to be a funeral, and you got to get the people involved in the funeral to go along with it.
See, and
Not if they think he's dead.
here's my thinking though. Like
They have to work on a body though. They have to like put makeup on a body.
you kind of have to you either have to tell your family or you don't that you're dead, that you're not dead, right? So if you tell them, then you're counting on them to be amazing actors and actresses and go out there and play the whole role. If you don't tell them and you just pop up like 7 days later, it's kind of a scumbag move. Like, I don't know if I would want to, I would be so, you'd be so, would you be happy that they're alive, or would you be like, you're a dick?
Both.
Probably.
Depends on who it is. No.
Here's the thing. He had a lot of beef with people. So I'm sure that's one of the reasons why he faked his death.
Yeah, but if this was planned, if he planned this whole thing, he had to have thought out who was going to shoot at him, and if they were going to take the rap, some kind, if they were going to be thrown under the bus somehow.
Well, listen, if we
There's
learned
gonna be an
anything
investigation
from The Sopranos, you can get Bobby Bacalieri to do that for $6,000.
Exactly.
That's easy.
This is not the first time.
if you're but if you're going to fake your death, I mean, as a celebrity, you do, you either like a suicide maybe, or something that's not involving a ton of people. No?
Yeah.
Or like you do the James Dean drive off, you get into a car accident, you drive into something, and it can't be something where you get shot. Then that involves someone who pulled the trigger, and there's witnesses. And
Right.
There's too many loose ends.
What if it was an
like that.
What if it was an improv move and he gets shot, and on his way to the hospital he thinks, here it is. This is my chance to get out. I'm going to get out.
Maybe the situation presented itself in the shooting.
Maybe the
shooting wasn't planned.
Yeah.
Who knows? That could be.
Yeah. I mean, he was good at freestyling. It's not above him to improv like that and be like, hey, here's my little window. Here's my door. Let me walk through it.
Could be. Who knows? I don't think we'll ever solve it until the one day where maybe he shows up again.
Locals in Havana, Cuba, claim that they have seen him wandering around the town. Videos of men looking remarkably like him have also added fuel to this theory. Conspiracy theorist Michael Nice claimed he helped smuggle Tupac into Cuba with the help of former President Fidel Castro. Nice claims there was a hit out on Tupac and plans were put in place to help him get out when he was injured by the shooting. So there you go.
Could be, but now that we're reconnected with Cuba, we can go over there and see if that's true.
That's probably why.
Okay.
That's probably why the Obama administration did it. They wanted to find out if Tupac was still alive.
That was the only reason.
And then when we realized he wasn't, the Trump administration was like, just roll it back. Who cares?
Yeah.
If you don't have Tupac, there's no reason for us to be here, really.
Right.
Yeah, Cuba Schmuba.
I was heartbroken by that because I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm going to get cigars. And then they went and rolled that back, and now no Cuban cigars, which is unfortunate. Smoke them if you got them, because the world is ending this week or next week. I love these world is ending theories. Like,
we're about due for one, though. I mean, it's been been like a year since the last one.
It's been a little while, but they're always like, I don't know, at some point, like it's this week or it's next week, or I'm not sure. I'm so sure the world is ending, but I'm in touch with all the spirits. Yeah, I got all the knowledge that's ending, but I can't seem to finish the last couple pieces and give you an exact date or time. But wasn't it 2012? Like they were thinking maybe 2021 because the person who wrote the Mayan calendar was like dyslexic.
So my God.
This is the theory. This is the theory here. That the reading of the Mayan calendar was wrong, just to go on what Frank was saying, that the world didn't end on December 21st, 2012. It was following the Julian calendar. We are technically in 2012 right now. So it's not really 2020. Technically, according to the Julian calendar, it's 2012. The number of days lost in a year due to a shift in the Gregorian calendar is 11 days. For 268 years, using the Gregorian calendar from 1752 to 2020 times 11 days equals 2,948 days. 365 days per year equals 8 years. So by that, because they screwed up the calendar for 268 years, they left 11 days off. So if you go by that math, it is technically 2012 right now.
My question is, why did the Mayans know? How did they know?
They didn't
all they
know.
Did was make a calendar.
Well, here's what's interesting about this theory, Frank. Just to go by, they weren't predicting. This is the biggest falsehood around this. They weren't predicting the end of the world. It's just that when we found the calendar, it ended on December 21st, 2012.
Yeah, they had to stop writing sometime.
Basically, so as they were making the calendar, they made every day of every single year, and they stopped at 2012, December 21st. Now, why that is, maybe they thought the world would end. Maybe the calendar guy had to get up, take a piss, and he had a stroke, never came back. And they were like, screw it, that guy's, I don't know what he's doing anyway, you know? Because this
Could be, and maybe, I mean, what if, why are the Mayans the authority on when the world ends?
Well, they were one of the early societies.
Even if the calendar said, this is when the world's going to end.
Right.
Why is that the thing we're looking at?
Why would we take their word for it, is what you're saying.
That's their thing.
Right. What do you mean that's their thing?
That's their thing.
I heard you. What do you mean that's their thing?
I don't know. I really don't.
I mean, they're not. What if we had something that they were basing it off of? If they were looking at this calendar and on the bottom it said a little asterisk, and it said, "This is based off of information we got from blank."
Frank,
Maybe
we
we
can ask
would.
the same of the Bible.
Well, the
Whoa.
Mayans were the Mayans looking at the calendar and saying we got this information from God, or were they just making a calendar?
I don't know.
We got it from the Mayans.
And I want to shit on what you're saying, Frank. But like you look at some of the stuff from like Da Vinci, and you know, you look at some of the old astronomers and old philosophers, and a lot of the things that they put together still apply to this day. Not to say that that we didn't have some missteps, like that the Earth is the center of the universe and everything rotated around the Earth, right? There was some false information, but there's a lot of things
that's fine.
that's
fine, but none of them predicted accurately the end of the world.
Well, we don't know.
They may have predicted, or they may have figured out equations and distance between celestial objects and things like that, but none of them said, like Da Vinci didn't say, this is when the, and if he did,
Where'd he get it from?
or we didn't get to it yet.
We don't know because we didn't get to it yet, because it's still technically 2012, because some dope left 11 days off the calendar for 278 years.
Say, who did that? Why isn't he right?
I don't know. He screwed the whole thing up. But if it is
Maybe he got it
technically
right and the Mayans screwed it up.
If it is technically still 2012, like if it's technically, let's buy into the fact that it's really technically still 2012. How do we know that they're not right? We're still coming up to it. Good luck.
Well, what about leap
tonight.
year? We added a day every 4 years
Oh, Frank.
for the last 100-something years.
Okay, but that would be give or take a month or two, I guess. That's not.
I mean, are we still off by those 12 days now?
I mean, even if you're still off by a little bit, it's insignificant. It's still, the point is we were 8 years off. If we're 8 years off in 4 months, like, does it really matter? Like that's the point.
Well, it matters if it's saying that it's next week or if it's the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what's weird to me, because you would think it would be in December of this year, but I guess that doesn't even matter because they're just adding. Yeah, that doesn't even matter. They're just adding the days. This is all according to a scientist named Paulo. So,
Hey, Dr. Paolo.
Paulo Tagoleguin.
Very good.
He tweeted that last week, because if you're going to predict the end of the world, you might as well. You got to tweet it. You got to put that out on Twitter.
I always knew the world would end with a tweet.
Well, here's my thing. Let's say that the Mayans were correct. Let's think about this for a second. Let's say they predicted the end of the world, or there was some mystical force that made them stop on that specific date in 2012, okay? Mm-hmm. What if they didn't anticipate our modern technology? Like, what if this friggin' thing, this virus, was the thing to take us out, but because we have modern science and the internet to spread information quickly and all this jazz, what if this is us thwarting what was really supposed to happen?
So they were able to see that a virus was going to kill us,
Right.
but not that we would have technology to kill it.
Right.
You might be right.
I mean, all sorts of little things don't make it into the final calculation, right? Like, how many times do you hear absurd stories? You know.
Did they say what would kill us, or they just said it's going to end? It's over.
No. And again, this is all based off the fact that when they found the calendar, they literally they figured out that they just stopped on this day.
They just stopped because they couldn't. What are they going to write forever?
It could have been, dude. It could have been they ran out of room, or they just got tired of doing it, or I don't know when they made the calendar, but they looked at it and they were like, "I think 2012 is a good time. Like, I think we're good. We could take 5 years off, and we'll come back and we'll keep going." And then they just never got back to it because it was like.
And who was this calendar maker? Was it one guy in a room making a calendar, and he was like, "You know what? I'm the guy.
Yeah,
I got this. I'll make a calendar for you. You're only paying me up to 2012, so I'm gonna stop there."
It was.
Maybe got distracted.
That could be. Look at the work. Look how far I've gotten. You like it? I'll keep going. You pay me more. Maybe they didn't like his work and they stopped paying him.
It was Phil, the calendar maker, back in the Mayan days. And you're right. It could have been a dispute over the bill. Phil got this far and goes, "Well, you're not going to pay me my full quote. I'm not going to keep going.
I'm out.
Screw it."
You know, if your son wrote a calendar on a piece of paper, and 100 years from now, someone finds it and goes, "Oh, look at this calendar."
Yeah.
It stops. On what if this guy who made the Mayan calendar was doodling in his house, and he was just like, "Here's the calendar."
Well, he wasn't, because they found every single day of every single month of every single year back whenever the hell the Mayans did this.
He was bored.
Could have been. Could have been
Was it the Mayans did it, or one guy among the Mayans did it?
To your point, if we got hit by a meteor tomorrow and thousands of years from now somebody found this podcast and this was their only source of information on our society, they would have a big misconstrued conception of what the whole thing was all about.
That's the thing. What if there was another calendar? They dropped it and it broke up and it got destroyed.
What if they missed a couple of pages?
Went on.
I agree. I totally agree. Could be a couple of pages off. Who knows?
We don't know.
We do not know. Maybe whatever being or universe or God that started this whole thing said, "Phil, just go up to 2012. And he was like, "Well, what's gonna happen? Don't worry about it. Just go up to 2012."
That's all we're budgeted for.
Yeah, just you don't worry about it. I'm starting this up. Well, I'll tell you when we're gonna end it. Just leave it be. Don't make a big deal out of it. Maybe that was
had a heart attack before he finished. Who the hell knows?
Like I said, maybe he went to go take a tinkle and tripped over something and hit his head and boom, that's it. It's the Mayan days. It's not like they have a hospital.
I mean, I'm sure we've gotten other things from the Mayan civilization, right? I mean,
this was
the calendar. There's other stuff.
This was their only contribution to society at the end of the world.
That was it. The Mayans, they gave us a calendar with an end date.
Yes.
And then we said, "Thank you. That's all we need from you guys."
They showed up. They built some huts. They figured out when the world was going to end, and then they mysteriously disappeared on us.
That's all we need. No point in looking into other stuff. I mean, I'm sure the Incans and the Aztecs had a calendar. Did they have a calendar?
Nobody cares about their calendar. The Mayans and Tupac, they were out, and we don't know what happened, and we're only left with questions.
The Mayan calendar had cats on it, and that's all we cared about.
Maybe like Tupac, we're gonna get like a posthumous calendar release. Like maybe we'll get another 200 years out of this.
Ooh,
right?
That would be something.
Somebody will be down there going, "Look what we found. There's the extra 200. Look, they did keep going. Phil was on the job again, and we got
previously unreleased."
Yeah,
I like it. It could be.
Last we left you, we had the 5-song challenge for Blink 182, where Janine was set to prove that Blink 182 was a great band, and Frank, the hardcore Metallica fan, said that they were not. They only had one song. So Janine took the 5-song challenge and said, "I'm going to put together a bunch of songs for you, and you give them a listen, open-minded, be open-minded, and let me know what you think. If I could turn your world around and get you to admit that, yeah, indeed, Blink 182 is a pretty good band." Now, Frank, did you listen to the? By the way, you can see the 5 songs that Janine picked at anthonyonair.com. We put them all together in a blog. The 5-song challenge. Did you listen to all of the songs, Frankie C?
Indeed, I did. There were more than 5. I think there were like 6 or 7 on some reason.
Yeah, there was a couple more than 5. Janine, how long did it take you to come up with this list? Because I did have to pester you for the list after the show on Friday.
7. There were 7 songs.
It was like 2 hours. I really had to sit there and.
So you put the work into it. You went like, you know what? I'm not
did.
going to just go off of like the ones I've been listening to lately or the last couple of ones top of the mind. I'm going to go back to the catalog and I'm going to get into the whole thing. I like that.
Wait, it took you 2 hours.
Yes.
To send me 7 songs that you think would prove Blink-182 is good.
Because I was going back and saying, okay, well, I think I really like this one, so I had to take it back out and then put it back in.
May I ask, how many albums do they have? Do you know?
Oh my God, at least 7.
I could see that because you're building an ultimate playlist and you want to make sure you're hitting all the key points. So I could see that happening.
Okay.
I could totally see that happening. I just want to say a couple of things before we get to Frank's final reaction. No matter what we think about Blink-182 as a band, I had totally forgotten about this, and Janine, you jogged my memory, but this album cover of the nurse putting on the glove is maybe one of the more iconic album covers ever to come out of the 90s. And
her name is Janine.
And her name is Janine. Yeah, because don't they follow her? Was she like a porn actress or something? Or
yeah, she is.
She's a porn actress. Or was. Okay. Maybe you could argue top 50 greatest album covers of all time, but I would say easily top 5 of the 90s because there's not really a lot of iconic album covers I think about from the 90s, but that one is. That one really, really
Agreed.
is. And then the second thing I'm going to say is I had totally forgotten about the song Mutt. And I think that is one of the greatest songs of all time and
wow, do you?
Super
I'm
underrated.
Sorry.
I love
what was
it.
That? One of the greatest songs of all time. Is that are those the words that I just heard you say?
Let me put that into context. If we're going to talk about how many songs do you think were made ever? What do you say? How many songs do you think we have in modern recording? 2 billion? 2 billion songs?
No, I'd say a few million.
Few million? 500 million songs? Would you say 500 million songs?
Sure.
Okay.
Probably, right?
I would say, so would you say like that if you made it into the top 2 million songs of all time, that's one of the great songs? I would put that song in one of the top 2 million songs.
Thank you.
I'm not talking about Frank. I'm not talking about this is the top 10 great songs of all time. It's not.
You said it was one of the greatest songs of all time.
One of the greatest songs.
You said.
It's one of the greatest songs. It's a great song. Like it's a really, really great song. Like I listen to that song and I think to myself, this should have been a hit on the radio, and it's part of the reason why the world is broken because there's so many great songs that don't make it onto the radio, which was part of Janine's point to this whole thing of if you only have access to their radio songs, you don't have access to all what makes a band so great. And when I heard that again, it immediately took me back, and I was like, I forgot that they did this song, and this song is phenomenal. It's a great song. It's better than most Metallica songs. I'm kidding. I'm kidding about that last part. I'm kidding about that last part. I put plenty of Metallica songs.
You know what I feel like right now? I feel like before a rodeo when the bull is behind the cage.
Yeah.
And then it's like bucking and it's trying to kick the guy off behind the thing.
I would put plenty of Metallica songs in front of Mutt, but I as I was going through this whole thing, I was like, this song is what makes this band. This song is one of the reasons why this band is where they are in the world. You know, where their status is because that's a great song. It's just a really good song. So,
thank you.
Okay, so 2 hours for Janine to put it together. I'm not really in this. You have my thoughts. I love that album cover and I love Mutt. Frank, did you listen to it with your wife as we requested?
Yes, I did.
And when did you listen to it?
This morning.
So you went the whole weekend, and then this morning you got back in touch.
That's right. I wanted it to be fresh in my mind
Okay, very, very good.
for the
Okay.
podcast.
So how long? So you would say a couple hours ago, a few hours ago,
Yeah, if that.
a few or a couple? Never mind.
I'd say a couple,
Here
which
we
would
go.
be 2.
Did you go one? Did you go in the? By the way, Janine, I listed them on AnthonyOnAir.com in the order you gave me. I just
Okay.
assumed.
Yes, I listened to them in order
Okay.
that she gave me.
And what did you think? Did you want to go through this one song at a time? Do you have an overall thought? Tell us.
I have an overall thought.
Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
I would go through one of it. I would go through them one at a time.
Hang on.
Except that my overall thought.
Wait, hang on. Before you give that out, Janine, do you think you won Frank over, or do you think he hasn't changed a bit?
I don't think he's changed a bit.
I don't think he's changed a bit either. Okay, go ahead, Frank. Give your thoughts.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Give your overall.
Okay. I would go through each song individually, but my overall thoughts preclude me from doing that.
Oh God.
Because here are my overall thoughts. If you gave me 7 days of nothing to do except write music, write songs, I could write 14 Blink-182 songs. They are made up of the simplest music. The drummer is very good. I admire the drummer's skill. He is very good. The riffs and the guitar is very stock, like something you would find on a music generator. That's pretty much every song. So if you took away the vocals of every song, not every, maybe out of the 7 songs, 5 of the 7 songs, if you took away the vocals, most people would not be able to tell the difference.
Oh wow.
My opinion.
Okay.
This is my opinion.
Okay.
I read through, as I was listening to the songs, I read the lyrics. So there were YouTube videos where they gave you the lyrics at the same time. And for me, the lyrics were very, I want to say, not too deep.
They're not deep.
They are not deep. They are something an 8th grader might be able to write in a weekend.
Okay. I didn't think I was going to change your mind.
I'm not saying that I like the song. You didn't even put it on the list.
Which one?
But I like their song, Wish You Were Here.
I Miss You?
That one, yeah. I forgot the name, sorry. But
I was
I
going
miss you.
to put that one on.
Because it's unique.
It's different.
It is. And it's not their normal, same exact tempo.
Yes, it's very
same
somber.
progression. I feel like every song that you gave me, at least the ones that I heard, were the same formula, the same exact, just cadence of music, and there was no real riff that made them individual.
Okay.
And the lyrics weren't too deep. The drummer was very good. I do have some good stuff to say. The drummer was good. The bass guitar wasn't bad. But I feel like the overall rhythm of the songs and the lyrics. Oh, and I'm sorry, but the whiny kind of noise coming out of the lead singer's mouth, it's a little annoying after a couple of
Okay.
songs.
Holy
shit. It's like, oh God. And then when he starts to like sing talk a little bit, like when it's not yelling, when he's not singing, it's still that like, oh, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh Jesus.
They're from California.
I know.
That's how they sound.
Yeah, that was like every
really
band
was.
during that time, like Sum 41, and there was like all those bands. That was the time.
Yeah, I'm on to be fair, I'm not a big fan of that sound
Okay.
generally.
What?
You like a different genre of music.
I do, but I feel like that there's like a whiny quality to that way
Right.
of singing
Punk.
that just it irritates me a little bit.
All right.
Jesus, Frank.
Let me ask you this: did you like any of the songs? Was there any of the songs that she picked that you were like, oh, that one? What was the best one out of the group?
Good question.
Dick
Let
lips.
me just look over the. I don't even know if it was that one. Let me look over the.
Go ahead,
names
look over the
again.
list because that'll give me a chance to actually name the songs because we didn't name the songs that Janine sent over, which we should.
All right, so there's "Damn It." Should I name them?
Yeah.
Cacophony, Dick Lips, Dysentery Gary, Mutt, Reckless Abandon, and Voyeur. And the question you asked is there any song that stood out to me that I liked? Which, when I started my little recap, I said that I didn't want to do an individual thing. I wanted to do an overall thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because, to me, if you played for me one of the songs and said, which song is this? I would say, I have no idea. I don't know. What is that? Mutt? Is that Reckless Abandon?
I don't know if you really kept the open mind that you needed to go into this.
I listened to them and I was like, all right, I'm in. Let's go. I wanted to find, like I said, I like the song "I Miss You."
Right.
Wasn't on the list.
It wasn't on the list, but I tried to keep that open mind. I was like, all right, maybe there's a song in here
but
that
even
stands
that
out.
song, he's got such a I think that's his whiniest of all the songs.
Yeah, but it's different. It's unique, and there's a tiniest edge to it that these songs I felt didn't have. They're very they're like what I said. They weren't too deep. The lyrics. "I Miss You" was a little deeper than their normal.
Mm-hmm.
Than the songs you gave me.
I got to be honest with you. I think you're being way too harsh. I think your criteria for judging how good a song is sucks and is way off. Like, I feel like you just need to, people ask me all the time, like, why do you like that song? It's either good or it's not. You either like it or you don't. I don't think that how hard it is to replicate or make on your own should come into play on how much you like a song. I don't think that has anything to do. Like, you could probably,
right.
And here's the unfair thing too, and I'll say this because probably a lot of people don't know this about Frank. Frank is so irritating because you can literally give him any instrument and play anything for him and just give him, like, depending on difficulty, 5 to 45 minutes and he could do it. He could drums or guitar or whatever. I've seen him in a music store pick up a fucking violin and start playing some shit on it like he'd been playing for 30 years. And that was the
Janine.
That was
Janine had enough.
That was the most irritating shit ever that I've ever seen Frank do. So I think you're coming at this from a really different place than most people would be coming at it from.
I'm not saying you can't enjoy the songs. I'm saying I didn't enjoy them.
No, I know, but your basis for not enjoying them was like, it's so easy. I could write 14.
That was one of the critiques that I had.
Okay.
The other critiques were the guy was annoying sounding.
Yeah.
The every song with slight variation sounded exactly the same to me.
And
it's like they made the song. All they did was take the same song, either speed it up a little, slow it down a little, or take the chords and go like this to them.
But see, some of my favorite songs are like very simply structured. Like, again, not to throw the Beatles around here, but
that's fine. Yeah, Metallica has simply structured songs too, but they're unique sounding too.
But also, like you also mentioned the lyrics thing too, and a lot of really great songs are about next to nothing or little tiny snap. It doesn't all have to be about my parents were murdered, and I turned into Bruce Wayne. It could also just be about like a girl walking into a party and you noticing her. Like, that could be the brilliant.
I agree. However, all of their songs are like that. If they had a handful of songs that meant something, I would be like, this is a cool song. I could listen to it, and I could relate to it. I could think about it. It makes me, it puts me in a certain mood.
Yeah.
It gets me thinking about stuff. It makes me picture something. It tells a story. While these things tell stories, it's like, it's like an old comedian telling the same joke every time. Like, you hear it, you can pretty much tell what's coming next. You know the joke, you know the punchline, and you're like, oh, I've heard this fucking joke again. I know what he's gonna say, and yeah, it was funny the first time I heard it, but I know where it's going, and that's the mood I'm in now. Now you pissed me off. Now this joke has pissed me off because you're not trying.
All right. I mean,
do you see what I mean? Like,
if
a comedian came up there and started telling, why the chicken crossed the road.
Yeah,
You
I get that.
be a little bit like, all right, he's not putting any effort into us. Why am I listening to this?
I get that part of it. I like the unpredictability going into a joke. That's one of the best parts about it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And it's also the delivery too. The joke could be good. The joke could be predictable, but the person has a great delivery, and it's still funny.
Right. Yes. It doesn't always have to rely on misdirection.
Blink-182 didn't have the delivery. If these songs, if I knew where they were going and the story was great, I was not a fan. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that it wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't, the delivery didn't hit for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know. I feel like she did give you some good songs in there. And again, like Mutt, I remember the first time I heard Mutt, I was instantly won over. I was like, this is a really good song. Like, it's a really, really good song. And I felt like that when I saw that make the list.
It hit for you.
I said to myself that when and especially because it was like fourth or fifth down, I said, this is going to be the one that's going to be the one where he's like, oh shit, they're not bad. They're pretty good. They're better than I thought they were. Were they better than they thought? Were they better than you thought they were? No.
Slightly. Like, if I thought they were at a 5, they were at a 5.5.
5.5.
Maybe they brought it up a little for me because I didn't really know their music, but I know their style, and I've heard the songs now. Here's the thing that I want to make absolutely clear: these are my opinions. People, I have no problem with anybody enjoying these songs. They're not,
it's okay.
I'm not going to judge anybody.
You don't have to apologize. You can only love Metallica, Korn, and Slipknot, and that's it. You can't expand beyond that. It's
like
okay.
Tool. I like what?
It's all in the same genre. It's all in the same genre.
I like the Beatles. I like the Rolling Stones.
Did you listen to it with your wife?
I like Elton John. What?
Did you listen to it with your wife?
Yes.
What did she think? She thought it sucked too?
She was not a fan of these songs either, but she does like some Blink-182 music.
Babe, more than I do, like Blink-182? Did you listen to the 5? No, you didn't listen to the 5 songs. Do you like what was their big hit?
With all the small
things. You think they're good? It was a good song though. I don't think she likes Blink-182.
Do you think they're good? Good song though.
I think
we didn't have to hear the answer.
I think Cuddles is in Frank's camp on this one.
Cuddles, you're the best.
Frank says you're the best. Janine's gonna have a problem with you though. I'm not gonna lie. You might have to answer to Janine after this is all said and done. What? Yeah, Janine was trying to convince Frank that Blink-182 is a good band. And so she gave Frank 5 songs to listen to, and Frank very closed-mindedly went through them all.
Very open-mindedly.
And decided that...
I don't think she could hear me.
She can hear you. And decided,
open-mindedly.
And he decided that Metallica is his one and only love, and he can't move past that.
That's exactly what happened.
He can't like a band that Metallica wouldn't take on tour with them.
That is not true. That is not true. I like oldies music. I like Motown. I like I like a lot of different genres. It's not just metal.
You only like
rock.
Metallica. It's not true. I like the Deftones. Well, because they opened for Metallica for like 6 fucking years.
I actually don't like the Deftones, but okay.
Oh, really? You don't like the Deftones?
Not a big... I don't know their music that well, to be fair.
Holy shit. We have like polar opposite tastes in music. We
Yeah,
both
do.
like
That's why
Metallica,
that's
though.
why we never played any gigs as a band. You were trying to play Dave Matthews, and I'm sitting there going, we
Okay.
were like not gonna.
That's true, but I like Metallica. Like I'm not nearly close to you, but I genuinely like Metallica. I don't know if you genuinely like any of the bands that I really like.
Name some.
Dave
Oh,
Matthews, you hate.
Eh,
OAR. I don't even know if you know who
I like
OAR
OAR.
is.
Of a Revolution. I know who we are.
Really?
Yeah. Who else? Who else do you like? You see, that's a genre. You like one genre of music, and God forbid.
No. I'll put. You know who I really like? The Hold Steady.
I don't know them.
You don't know the Hold Steady? The Hold Steady's really good.
So what kind of music are they?
We might have another
Exactly.
5-song challenge on our hands. I might have to give you 5 songs.
Can I give Janine a 5 Metallica? I know she's not going to like it.
No,
anyway.
because
It's
this
not
was
her
never
style.
about liking Metallica. That's not what this is about.
What is it about?
And I already like Metallica, so that doesn't. You can't. There's no winning me over. I'm already there.
You like Blink 182 anyway? Wasn't winning you over either?
Well, I don't love them, but I think they're good. I think they're worthy of. You were
Well,
like,
the challenge wasn't directed at you. The Blink
All
182
I
challenge.
think the new 5-song challenge is the Hold Steady. I'm going to give you 5 Hold Steady songs.
I can't be listening to your crappy music anymore.
See, you don't have an
My
open mind.
That was a joke.
And
I will do it if you want, but I have to.
Do you like Van Morrison?
Yes,
Okay, all right, but like more than like Brown Eyed Girl and
I
Domino.
like Bill Withers. Yes,
Okay,
I like a lot of music. It's not just metal.
all right. I think we're
I
gonna
like
give.
a lot of different.
I think we're gonna do second 5-song challenge. The Hold Steady.
Up.
Second 5-song
Plus,
challenge
what
is
was
the second 5-song challenge. The Hold Steady. I want to see if we can get you to like something outside of Metallica, who Metallica would take on the road with them.
Let me know.
You agree?
Send me
5-song
the-
challenge.
send me the songs.
All right, that's the next one. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in and staying with us this long on every single podcast network that you could possibly imagine. We are on. Just go to anthonyninair.com to get the full list. And videos of the podcast are available on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks, Frankie C. Janine exited the podcast much like Tupac. We're unsure if she'll make a return. We'll have to come back next episode and find out.